Hello, Mzansi. Welcome to it in what is a rather special time in football worldwide. Out in Germany, well, it's done and dusted in as far as the league race in England. It's done and dusted. And here in South Africa, well, it's a special time because we just had the derby to speak about last weekend. We also are looking at another Soweto derby, just following that in what is a time where we spoiled as football lovers. And I'm joined by a man who enjoyed those Soweto derbies, Shane McGregor. Let's firstly start by looking back before we look at the future, Shane. And for many, the entertainment level here was what the derby should be, but mostly because Kaizer Chiefs came to play and did play.
Yeah, especially the first half. I mean, if you look at the derby and you know, you talk about the derbies and enjoyed it. So I used to enjoy it because we used to win the majority of that.
And score.
So unfortunately, it's not going Chiefs way. But yeah, as I say, entertainment-wise, it was a very good first half for both sides. You know, it was a good football. Entertainment was there. Once again, you know, Chiefs flattered to deceive again, unfortunately.
Well, let's firstly look at it from a fan's point of view. The game starts half an hour late because still, even with Chiefs struggles, the fans get there late and they pack out the stadium. So the atmosphere already sets the scene for many of us that turn out there. And then the different matchups on the day. There were so many different matchups on either side of the field that it made the derby extra special as well.
Yeah, it did. It made it very special, you know, and like you say, it started late, normal for South African football. But anyway, yeah, the matchups are good, you know, and when Chiefs went 1-0 up so early in the game, I thought, oh, here we go. It's a complete different side. They're going to be changing things. And even though they'd rested one or two players because of suspension problems and worried about getting suspended, they still look good value for money. Got on top of Pirates, look very good. Had Pirates on the back foot, but unfortunately didn't carry on with it. I mean, they got the goal early on. A very good goal, I must say.
And the Buccaneers strike as well was terribly impressive. Yeah.
Something different. I mean, and he was impressive there. A very, very good goal. I think the keeper got caught by surprise because he didn't expect him to shoot. But anyway, a good goal. But then, you know, they allowed, and they had chances after that. That was the big problem. You know, if you don't score your chances, you're going to struggle.
You spoke of the key players that went there, Miguel, Tuba, but for Chiefs to still blow our minds like that in the manner in which they came out and played, the confidence, the style, as well as the swagger in the game, so completely unexpected. But then again, the game, when you start hitting Champions League level semi-finals and so on, it's about adjustments. Yeah. And Pirates were able to adjust the second half. That was the major difference.
Yeah, but that was the big difference. The Pirates could adjust to it. You know, they weren't expecting that, Pirates, and you could see that it was something that they had to get used to. But for Chiefs, leaving those players out, it was a vital decision. You know, obviously for them, they need to win some in the season. And I think that's why they rested those players. But, you know, they had the opportunity there to go further ahead. They had the opportunity to strike a blow early on against Pirates. And unfortunately, they didn't allow that. You know, they didn't do it. They didn't follow up. But end of the day, Pirates showed their true mettle and showed what a team they are and came back and got the result.
Pirates players, a lot of them, were for game one, who's grown immensely over the last season, Champions League, International as well, but a lot of them have played in the Champions League and Internationals. And is that the major difference here when the going gets tough between these two sides?
I think it is the difference between the two teams. You know, if you look at the way the Pirates adjusted and you look at the way they've been going, it is a big difference. They are a more settled team than Chiefs.
Yep.
If you see in the Chiefs team, there's been a lot of changes throughout the year, different teams playing, different players playing. So there have been a lot of changes. And if you looked at that team, I mean, the changes were 3-4 players, you know. But for Pirates, they've got a settled squad and they've been playing that and they're used to that. They're used to having to come back. They're used to the pressure, you know. Because of playing in Africa, it makes a big difference. Chiefs have got to start looking at that.
How special is it for just any football lover to enjoy a derby with that much quality, knowing the Nedbank Cup final is up next weekend, or this coming weekend, today maybe I should say, and again it's the same two sides. So great advert for South African football, but exciting times as well for football lovers, which reminds us why we need Chiefs to be doing well in South African football.
Yeah, we do, you know, and look at the crowd. I mean, you know, magnificent crowd. The finals, a sellout, was already a sellout early in the week. It's great for football, but we need Chiefs to kick on. Now for me is they tried their best. They didn't get the result. They got maybe 1 or 2, 3 players coming in. Bradley Cross is going to be suspended, unfortunately.
What do you make of that matchup between God and Cross? Because God was just going at him time and time again relentlessly.
Yeah, it's one of those
things.
You know? Yeah, it's one of those things. It's been the Chiefs' Achilles heel, that down that left-hand side. And, if I was the Pirates manager, I'll be having a look and saying, let's target them down that left-hand side. But anyway, we'll see what happens. For me, for Chiefs, what's the motivation? They have to go out and win, and they have to get the trophy to say they've had a fairly good season. You can't say a good season, a fairly good season. And for Pirates, I mean, it's just a matter of getting over the line and getting the trophy.
Talk to me about both coaches now. We've heard in the past coaches saying playing the same side twice in such a short space of time is rather difficult, especially with the stakes of this high. Nabi, and then the Pirates coach on the other end, what are they going through at this time? And of course, the one coach is saying farewell to his club.
Well, Rivera is obviously under a lot of pressure because he is going to be saying goodbye to the club. It looks like they're not going to win the league, but by all accounts, they're not going to have a chance of doing that. So for him, he wants to go off with a big bang and give Pirates the victory in the Nedbank Cup. For Nabi, it's a different pressure. It's a do or die. He's been put under pressure. There's been talk in the press, and you social media guys, you jump on the bandwagon. You jump on the bandwagon, and coach must get fired. This, that, not giving him the opportunity. So for him, it's a must win. Simple as that. For him to keep his job and to go forward, he has to win this game. So for both coaches, different reasons.
I have to ask you about the FNB Stadium. Durban fans, their love for the game, and how many great events we've had there over the years. Great way to end the season as far as the Nedbank Cup final?
Yeah, you could take this game to any stadium in South Africa and it'll be full because of the two teams. My only worry has been with Moses Mabhida. I just hope the surface is good and that it's a good playing surface. They've had a lot of rain in KwaZulu-Natal. I'm not too sure what the field is looking like. I'm just hoping that it's good quality for a good quality cup final. We'll see later on today, and we'll have to take it from there.
Well, something to look forward to later on today when you consider the dream we had last week in the derby, and the dream that very well could be with both these sides looking to win the Nedbank Cup. So it's the most successful side against the second most successful side in the history of the Nedbank Cup. What a season it has been, and what a closing is turning out to be as well in as far as the 24-25 campaign. Stay with us, we'll be back with this, or we'll be back with more on the other side of this.